Hi, I'm Amy Barrett-Daffin, and I'm here today to show you the iron-on label book that we have that's Sassy Sayings. Now, I don't know about any of you, but sometimes when I make my quilt, I feel a little sassy, so these labels were perfect for me. There's all sorts of fun labels inside here. Now, they're all backwards, so they're a little hard to see, but there's just great illustrations, some animals, some kitties, some puppies, all sorts of beautiful illustrations, and they're just really fun sayings. So one little tip I wanted to give you when you're using one of our iron-on label books, and I've shown this before, is in the very back, one of the things that I do is I take a 6 by 9 inch envelope that has a self-sealing piece on the back, and I put it in the back of my book. And why do I do this? Because you can use these labels more than once. So I store my used labels in the back here, and that way they don't get lost, they don't get wrinkled, they don't get messed up. They just stay here. So I'm going to show you just how to do a quick iron-on label. So I'm just going to pick one at random. And let's see, I'm going to pick this cute little frog one. So I'm going to cut out my label, and by Video Magic, I just cut it out right there. I'm going to set my book right here, and then I'm going to take my label and I'm going to set it down right here. And I always want to make sure I give myself enough space to fold under the edges, so when I stitch the label to the back, I have enough space. So one of the things you want to make sure you do is you hold the label in place, and then you pick up your iron and you set it down. Then you hold it, and then I'm going to keep my finger in the same spot, and I'm going to put the iron there, and then I'm going to move my finger away. And if I'm really worried, I can hold this a little bit longer. And then I'm just going to move it around a little bit and make sure that it's nice and transferred. So when you're transferring an image, you want to make sure that you don't use any steam, and you also want to make sure that the iron is nice and hot. Okay, so then I'm going to fold up the edge just to show you. And I'm going to do a little bit more on this line here and a little bit more on the cute little frog. Okay, that's good enough. So now I'm going to move the iron over to the side. I'm going to take off, and I see I totally wanted to keep this. That's what it says. So that's how you transfer it. Now I'm going to show you how many times you can get a transfer from this. So I'm going to set it down. These transfers are really powerful, and you can get at least 3 good transfers, if not more. So let's see how this one's looking. Just need to get that edge. And really make sure you get the little borders, because that makes a difference. And if you're going to add a name or a date, make sure you give yourself extra space. So then here's the second. And there's so many different things you can do with this. You can embroider, you can draw with a fabric marker, you could machine stitch it. There's lots of different ways that you can use these transfers. So, okay, that's my third one. Okay, let's see how it works. So you can see that you can get 3 different transfers. Obviously, the first is the darkest. So next, what I want to show you, now I'm going to take my little label that I used and just slip it in the back, because normally I would only use it once and then I could save it for another use. So then I just wanted to show you a couple examples of things that I made. So this one I colored with permanent marker, with fabric marker. And you can see I started off with a thicker pen, and then I was like, oh, that's way too thick. So then I went with a little bit thinner one, and you can see I test all my colors and my thicknesses here. After I did that, that's what I started doing. And these are all just using fabric markers. So that's one example. And then the other one I made was, you don't like this quilt? You can kiss my A** with Sunbonnet Sue, which I thought was really cute. And then I had a lot of fun. I love doing the chain stitch, so I made a a little flower garden with it, stitching over what was here. And then I just did little green dots around it. I was gonna do French knots, and then I decided that's too many French knots for my brain, so I didn't do it. And then if I wanted to, I could put someone's name down here and put the date, and I would just use these same markers. So that is the Iron-On Labels, Sassy Sayings for quilts, sewing projects, and more. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you have any questions, let us know.